Waves.
Big Schman.
Duse M the Welcome to the Damu Kiwe Conversations. Voice of the West Coast. Voice of the culture. It's that Munchie D in the
Say you going
background.
crazy in this 5 nines, 211, murder robbery, 187. I'm a money getter. That's amazing.
Hit that like button if you just coming in.
5 nines.
You on IG.
Murder robbery,
Get
187.
content.
I'm a money getter. That's amazing.
I'm
The
a
way I
panic.
fell in love with home invasions. I need my chili and I need it now. Low Philly snow grab, this how it's going
So
down.
my good people
Crash
though.
the interview, make him lay it down. Tie Flocko up, he like 300 pounds. Hey, don't leave it to that fat nigga, give it up. Where to go at? His parents, they from Africa. Oh, you ain't got shit, fuck it, blood.
Mike B Renegade Dutchess.
YouTube started drama.
Binky Man.
On the gang, I don't play. Take the 110 freeway to the 8 trays.
Renegade Dutchess, you here?
On Bless, I'm about to see what they check say. I have to holler at you, bro. I'm glad you came. You like what you need, nigga. I need that chain.
Watching the Munchie segment till this one drop. Like manna bread.
211. Murder robbery.
Munchie may have gotten fired,
That's amazing.
but it might just be a play. That beat on Munchie's song is banging. Yo, I might have had the right blunt, but the veggie wrong in the thumbnail needs some tappy chapstick.
Still at it. Don't ask me why I rob, cause I'm good at it.
Hit that like button.
I'm a real savage. 3D, 4 heats, yeah, we stay packing. I'm already Lush, Brody in West LA. About to have that shit hot, but shout out to Trey. Middle of the night and he still woke.
Luke from the Lou, Raider Q, Snoop Snake ass.
Philly kicked him in his ass.
I wish Suge would release that audio with Snoop on it. Kid the Barber, yeah, we back, y'all.
Easy 100K. I kinda missed the nigga, y'all. Please don't see late.
Jerry Griffin.
Make a left blood. Boys come, let it blow like a waitress.
Can't spell West without the E and the S. You can just abbreviate it. Damn it. But shout out to the East Side.
The way I fell in love with home invasions.
Carolina Connect TV. Salute.
Murder robbery, 187.
Shout out to the Blue Ridge Mob, always on their job.
Fell in love with home invasions. This nigga whack on his belly showing ass cheeks. Dumb nigga laid up with R&B. Wasn't murder robbery cause we left the cheese. You was not Pyro on IFG. No turn suspect into a victim. Heard them niggas had beef, so he chipped him. Oh well.
Megan David.
All a nigga had was a knife with him.
Big Stone, salute. Mo Hill, salute.
STL, that's what's up.
Salute to the whole chat, man. Welcome to the Damu Kiwe Conversation. My best friend, Aisha Robinson. How you doing? Love you too, homegirl. You already know.
Give it up. 3 million right now, kill your bro.
We need a bag. We gonna talk.
Robbery, 187. I'm a money getter. That's amazing. The way I fell in love with home invasions.
Detroit, the East Side. On the check-in, Aftermath White. Salute. East B-Mode. Tapping in, City C. Project, baby. The Gante. Duse M. Salute, man. Hey, man, thank everybody for tapping into the Damu Kiwe Conversations. We gonna fry them. I gotta go get my coffee from upstairs. I'm not gonna make y'all wait any longer. We gonna get right into the content. Duse M's in the Damu Kiwe Conversation reacts to Suge Knight revealing. Hold on, what is it? Suge Knight exposing 2Pac's Snoop Dogg beef. Snoop Dogg was a snake the whole time. This is getting nasty, man. Suge is revealing some shit about veggie. He started over there with veggie wrong. Now he on this. Hey, Snoop, if you act like you just can't get hit. If this is wrong, you down bad, nigga. You had all these different issues with Pac. Nigga, that's why you didn't have no problem wanting to work with Diddler. Saying you're friends with the Diddler. Let's get to the content, though. Shout out to Art of Dialogue. Y'all go over there and subscribe, man. Tell them I sent you the Damu Kiwe Conversation. You know what I'm saying?
Speaking of Machiavelli, toss it up. I heard you and Pac, y'all had a situation behind the scenes because of that record, right?
Okay, so what happened with that was this. Okay. Teddy Riley did a beat, a song. Andre gets on the song. At the beginning of the song, Andre take a shot at Snoop. He says, if you go back to the beginning, that's why we were smashing so much, they stopped playing it on the radio. They just started coming straight into No Diggity with Teddy Riley verse. So at the beginning of it, Andre says he do some shit, and even the dog can't do this, shooting at Snoop. So when we sit down in the studio, Pac was like, damn, Snoop, this motherfucker is taking shots at you, huh?
Don't just take classes, take charge. Start your comeback today at purdueglobal.edu.
Same old phone? Nah. Upgrade to the new Galaxy Z Fold 7.
He didn't say taking shots, but, he said something a little more aggressive than that. But at the end of the day, we said, fuck it. We're going to take this toss it up beat and get on it. So Snoop both got the first verse. Pac both got the last verse. Snoop was a no-show. Pac got mad as a motherfucker. Pac like, shit, I'm riding for this motherfucker. He ain't up here to ride for himself. I said, but look, you got love for him. He on death row. He said, well, I'll tell you what. You're right, he is on death row. And the crazy thing about it, that's the same time Pac was like, man, Simon, man, you got to break away from this death row shit. What we gonna do? Call the row and leave death out? So he started laughing, right? So anyway, Pac goes in the booth. He go in. He go in on Andre. He go in, right? And the shit you heard later on, in my opinion, sort of messed the song up when they kept going, ooh, ooh. They did that and fucked the groove up because Jimmy came in crying because Teddy was crying. Blackstreet was like, nah, they gonna take our song away. That's the only hit we got. Pac was like, shit, we gonna beat those niggas up. They ain't gonna say shit, right?
Hit that like button.
So when it was all said and done, that's how that happened.
Smoked out TV.
But at the same time, you can show how fucked up people can be. Because they took one of our tracks, I think it was I Ain't Mad At You or whatever, and they performed the whole song to that song, Blackstreet did. But it's different because Death Row is black owned. Every other label at Interscope is white owned. Still today. And none of those labels really black owned. And that's why they got some of the worst deals ever.
Yeah. Southwest.
Still today. Well, it's different because Gangsta Steve over there. And Gangsta Steve is a really, really great dude. Steve Berman is the best. But that's how that really happened. So a lot of the stuff. And another funny story is we was doing that video, right? So Aaron Hall supposed to have been in the video. So I called Aaron Hall. He out of town. I'm like, man, we need to do the video. We're going to get you your plane ticket. He was talking about he got to bring all these dogs. He got to do all these extra.
So Aaron Hall, they done did this hit, Toss It Up with Pop. And they want, don't use it and all that. So then they want him to do the video shoot. He procrastinating, but shout out to Weezy. He said, I talked to John Jr. He in witness protection just like his son, blood. Crazy, man. Hell of a comment. Don't salute. That's crazy.
Just said he gave a demand letter that, like he was 2Pac. Like he pressing him.
Shalom.
One thing I don't do, I ain't never let a motherfucker press me. I don't believe in that. I said, well, so we're not gonna kiss his ass.
Know what it is, smoked
so
up.
I had a lookalike contest. All the people who can look like Aaron Hall. I said, we ain't gonna let him out the car. We're gonna let him do it first inside the car and bob his head and everything else. It was so good. I seen Aaron Hall one day, and Aaron Hall was like, man, we touched on that Tossed Up video. It was so good. That motherfucker, that was him. It wasn't even him. He fooled himself. That's not Aaron Hall.
Yeah, Aaron was caught up in that whole Diddler stuff.
Crazy,
Hit that
man.
like
I always
button.
thought that was Aaron Hall.
No, I don't let nobody press me. If you're gonna be doing all that, we don't need you. See, that's the difference between the real death row and people trying to be death row. Death row, we smart enough, and I know I'm smart enough to figure it out, to make it work.
Should take a shot.
Everything we did, I give credit to God, and I give it to the death row family, because it was a family. Jealousy messed some things up. The crooked cops destroyed everything.
And Lisa Ray, she was in that video too, right?
Absolutely. I've been knowing Lisa Ray from the Chicago days. Me and Lisa Ray go way, way back. I mean, before I started Death Row and before she was doing what she doing. That's the homie. The homegirl, you know? Me and 2Pac was so tight that we fucked a lot of the same bitches, probably even knowing we fucked the same bitches. So we might be at the mall, we might be somewhere, and a bitch speak to me, and he'd be like, fuck her? Yeah, I did too. This might speak to him. And he'd be like, did you fuck her? Yep. He said, I did too. So what we used to do is get a girl that we both fucked, right? But they don't know we know. And Monty was out. So either I'll call him or he'll call him. But it'll only be one that we both fucked, but they don't know we both did. Like, hey, I'll be like, hey, meet me at Monty's. Hey, meet me at Monty's. So when they come and sit there, we both sitting there eating, you know.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
We drinking the Cristal, and we laughing, and we just watch them sweat. We saying, do he know? Or do they both know? So, everything was one thing about life and how we was living and how we was doing it. We was enjoying it. So that's why I feel that it bothers me that they didn't keep.
You have 60 seconds remaining.
About 2Pac. Because at the end of the day, I got shot more than once that day in grades and shit and got bullet in the head and everything else. But it's nothing like losing somebody you that close to. And at the same time, if 2Pac wouldn't have been a man that fight for the people, controversy, push for everyone, he wouldn't be dead. Could the cops to be able to get away with it. Also, I wouldn't have been blamed and sent to prison when they always knew the truth. I heard those KPD recordings. They knew from day one. They didn't want to help us. They wanted to destroy us. So the fight is real. Only strong survive.
Right. And to go back to Lisa Ray, I know her and the Brat related, and Pac, he was beefing with the Brat, right?
Well, Pac didn't like he didn't like the people she fuck with. You know what I mean? So Pac thought it was some fake shit, and then at one time, Pac felt like the Brat was trying to be Snoop. You know what I mean? Like Pac really had love for Snoop.
Hey, bro,
I mean, like,
I ain't gonna lie.
Snoop
The Brat
like
came out stealing Snoop Dogg whole rap flow. Remember Snoop said when he came out with the like everywhere I look and everywhere I go, I see motherfuckers trying to steal my flow. It ain't no thing because he the homie Coolio put me up on the game once I stepped through the door. Yeah, kid, salute. You know, some of these niggas is so deceptive, using my style like a contraceptive. I hope you get burnt. Seem you haven't learned. It's the knick-knack, paddywhack. I still got the biggest sack. So put your gun away, run away, because I'm back. Why? Y'all know about that? Stacy Taggart. Salute, my brother Duse. How have you been doing today, sir? I hope you are having a blessed day, my lovely brother, man. Thank you for your blessings and that positive energy. We always need that here. Sepulveda the Prince. Yeah, she bit Snoop whole style. Yeah, bit his whole style. Jermaine Dupri and them. But let's get to it.
Russ. You know what I mean? So, and that being said, then when the Brat first came out, and Jermaine and Cree made everything like she was Snoop.
And Jermaine Dupri made everything like she was Snoop. We got one more. Let's get into this. Vanilla Ice joint. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna get into this Vanilla Ice joint. So we ain't even gotta go no far. The Art of Dialogue, we tapped in today, man. Go show them some love. Got nothing but respect, man. Great content. We just want to add something
You
to
and
it,
Vanilla
man.
Ice. So when y'all had that run in, can you give me the backstory? Like what
Live
actually happened?
reaction.
Well, it's funny how I ain't knocking James and I ain't knocking nobody else. But you know, they never was a part of me in Death Row. Number one. That happened
Cap the key, that's
right
Cap.
before I was starting Death Row. Matter of fact,
We never even heard
the
of
money I got from
bro.
Vanilla Ice, it laid the foundation to start Death Row. Because once I got
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
Andre off of Ruthless, Chalet off of Ruthless, DLC off of Ruthless, dealing with Hutch and Cocaine and all the other producers and artists, everybody depended on that Vanilla Ice money to pay their mortgage, their rent, their car notes, take care of them.
That's Cap Key.
So
that's Cap.
One of my really good friends is a guy named Ron Brown. Inglewood. Ron Brown, fastest NFL player that ever ran the NFL.
Ever heard of dude.
Played for the Rams, Raiders. He family still today. So Ron and I was really good friends. Still is. Brothers, basically. So as I'm doing my thing and say I'm gonna start this record.
Let's get them likes up, man. Show some love.
Get it together. I had sent the artists out to do some writing with Vanilla Ice.
Man, that's Cap.
One of the songs was Ice Ice Baby. I'm laying on my mama's couch coming to visit my mother. You know, you've been out all night running around, been at the studio, doing what you do. As I'm laying on her couch, you know, she gonna be cooking me something to eat. My mama loved me. You only get one mama, and I still love my mother today, you know. And at the end of the day, they had these little different little songs they play on the TV. And I'm sleeping. I thought I was dreaming because I heard someone say, "Dum dum 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 dum." I'm like, damn, I know that's familiar. Well, I heard Ice Ice Baby. I know that's my shit I'm involved in. It had the writer right.
I never heard of him.
I pop up.
Snoop was an innovator, bro.
I'm nodding my head to it. My mother bringing down some fried chicken and French fries, and I'm putting the ketchup and hot sauce on it.
Tabitha, what up?
That's
Herbs.
So knowing that's the song, they closed the door on us, saying that wasn't our song. So I was like, you know what? Whenever this Vanilla Ice dude comes to the city, I gotta have a conversation with this dude.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
I know people at the airport, they were like, hey, sure.
We ain't doing our research. We know he's alive.
So-and-so in town. Vanilla Ice in town. Is that right? Somebody said, hey, he'll hit the restaurant. So me and Ron Brown go to this restaurant on Santa Monica. And they eating. We come in there. There's two of us. Me and Ron Brown.
Of course.
I speak to
our
him.
music
I tell Vanilla Ice, you know, we got to talk about that Ice Baby and the rest of the songs that you didn't write. So I guess he's looking at us too, and they deep. They're like, well, let's go to the hotel. So let's go. We get to the hotel. There's so many people with them. We got to ask them what floor they're going to get on another elevator. So we all get up on the floor in the room about the same time. Me and Ron Brown walks in.
Imagine being able to build an app with your
Damu
name on it,
Kiwe
just by thinking about it. Meet
Conversations.
Base
They talk about
44,
just
a
by
complete
thinking
AI
about it.
creation platform.
Man, I might have to mess with them. Let's hit that like button. Let's go.
They deep. So they like pounding on their chest like they figure they got the upper hand. So when the door closed, I put the chain on the door. So I think that grabbed their attention. It's two of us, it might be 50 of them, and I'm putting the chain on the door. When it was all said and done, me and Vanilla Ice, we went and talked on the balcony, you know? That balcony is pretty high, because if you spit, I don't even think this wind to take the spit and take it somewhere else before it hit the ground, you know? How the situation was and how the situation went, we had a nice understanding. So I took a napkin and wrote some stuff out. The majority of the contract I did for Death Row, at Death Row, even before Death Row, was handwritten. I'm not a lawyer. So I wrote the breakdown of the publishing and who wrote the song and all that type of stuff. He signed it.
Man, Mike B, I don't even know why you continue
I
to
called
explain
upstairs, had somebody
that.
come up, gave him a signed signature on the napkin, made some copies of it.
Stand on it immediately.
And said, the rest was history. Actually, in reality, you could say Vanilla Ice contributed, they helped start Death Row.
Yeah, I actually heard him make that comment in the interview before, that it wouldn't be no Death Row, no Chronic, no All Eyes on Me if it wasn't for him.
Out of a lot of lies, there's some truth to some lies. And, you know, I'd give anybody a cigar. I don't have no ego.
See, my boy Stellar Media down there. You
come on, Vanilla Ice. Really back in. I didn't walk to your room and you just say, hey, here's the money, and start Death Row.
I never heard that.
You was a white boy with a whole bunch of black motherfuckers.
Detroit,
and
bro.
I would say that you had 5 black guys and they called you coach, but that's not the case. You had more 15 guys, and you know, I guess you felt that you were Superman. But at the end of the day, business is business. At the end of the day, he tried to beat black people out their money. At the end of the day, I made sure he didn't beat us out our money.
No, that's a fact.
At the end of the day, he is right about one thing. That money.
Look, I don't. But now we off subject. But check it out. Nate Dogg, Warren G, and Snooper Duper had a group. Snooper Duper being Snoop Dogg, right? Had a rap group called 213. Warren G had learned how to make beats a little bit through his brother Dr. Dre. He was trying to get signed with Dr. Dre when Dr. Dre was leaving Ruthless. Once he got to Death Row, Dr. Dre wanted Snoop Dogg, the smooth, charismatic, shy-looking dude. He flows for him. He hears the flows that he had before. When was he in Texas? Before he linked with Dr. Dre. Before he linked with 213. He was already rapping like that. Snooper Duper. That old G-Funk style. Parliament. Funkadelics. What you talking about, bro? Let's get to the content.
We did start.
Yeah, Warren G is Dre's half, bro.
So he got some of it right. You know?
I stand on
a lot of people say a lot of things, but there's some truth in a lot of shit.
Recipes,
but that part is true. That started Death Row. That's why sometimes I get a little upset when somebody say that drug money started Death Row. I got upset if a person lied and said they had something to do with Death Row and they didn't. This is like, you know, when
LA Giants is in the
David
building.
Kenner,
Joey Westside,
and I talked, and Michael Harris talked. It came first with Lydia because she was trying to do a song. She wanted to be a singer. But when I thought I was going to get the Ghetto Boys, because they told me they owned the Ghetto Boys, that's how all this conversation started. Thought we was going to do some death row shit.
Now, I don't know how much truth it is to that. That's not the first time that I heard that Harry O was claiming that he owned Rap-A-Lot. I don't know, man. Did he really put Jay Prince on? I don't know. Let's go. Y'all let
Kenner
me know.
never gave a dollar.
Hey,
Mike never gave a dollar. You can hear Mike's phone calls when he was in prison, borrowing money from people.
You have 60 seconds remaining.
For himself, not for death row. Matter of fact, there's a guy named Mike Klein you can talk to, pretty much is running Ruthless.
Mike Klein.
David Kenner.
Let's stop here. So he talking about moves Harry O and David Kenner was putting down, how he's supposed to got millions of dollars and rob Harry O to start death row. He said, no, we got that money from the Vanilla Ice thing, from the DOC thing, and all of that. Oh, my good peoples is coming in. Hit that like button if y'all just coming in. Miss Lisa, what's shaking, everybody? Let's get the likes up. Get the regulating. My next door neighbor went to Jordan High School with Snoop, who is the red nigga in the regulator video. Okay, Wes. Y'all already know what it is. So, Michael Klein. Y'all want to know who Michael Klein is? See, when you get to talking about Heller, Michael Klein, David Kenner, let's go ahead and look up Michael Klein, right? You know what I'm saying? So here goes this one, right? Oh, y'all can't see it. My bad. Let's get to it. Hit that like button. So, the theory that Tupac and Eazy were both targeted by a domestic terrorist organization. On the night of September 7, 1996, Tupac Shakur sat in the passenger side of a black BMW driven by Marion Suge Knight, the founder of Death Row Records, which represented the rapper. They just left the Mike Tyson-Bruce Seldon boxing match at the MGM Grand Hotel in Las Vegas and on their way to a nightclub per history as the car idled at a red light near the Las Vegas Strip. A white Cadillac with 4 people inside pulled up next to the Shakur's vehicle and opened fire, pelting the car with more than a dozen bullets that ripped into the car's interior, several of which struck Shakur in the chest. 4 days later, while Shakur lay in a hospital bed slowly dying, he eventually succumbed to his wounds on September 13, 1996. The FBI's Los Angeles field office received information about an alleged extortion scheme involving death threats to not only Shakur, but to Eric Eazy Wright, as well by a right-wing Zionist organization that the FBI labeled a terrorist group. An unnamed informant told the FBI that the Jewish Defense League and other individuals were part of the scheme involving extorting money from various rap music stars via death threats, which prompted the Bureau to begin an investigation that October, per the FBI report, the Southern Poverty Law Center, a nonprofit that tracks hate groups, calls JDL an extremist group responsible for countless terrorist attacks in the U.S. The scheme allegedly went like this. The JDL would call in anonymous death threats to the victim. They would then offer to protect the victim for a fee and bring them and their family to a secure location where gun-toting bodyguards will watch over them. Per the FBI report, the JDL would then convince the victim they work out a deal with the person making the threats. After the victim paid the Zionist organization for its protective services, the threats would end. The far-reaching federal investigation included aid from various other agencies, including the IRS, the LAPD, and the LA Sheriff's Department, per the smoking gun. The FBI also looked into the possibility that the extortion scheme was connected to a fight over the ownership of Ruthless Records, Eazy-E's label, that he had started with industry veteran Jerry Heller to launch NWA, the rap group of which he was a founding member, per Muck Rock. Following the rapper's death from AIDS-related complications in March 1995, rest in peace to Eazy-E, the godfather of gangster rap, a legal battle ensued between Eazy-E's family and Mike Klein, the label's business manager, over control of the record company. So Mike Klein is a business manager. Eazy dies, and he's pressing a linea with he's pressing a linea on Eazy's family, trying to control Ruthless. When the story broke about the FBI investigation in 2000, JDL spokesperson Irv Rubin told VH1 there was nothing but a close, tight relationship between Eazy-E and the league. Yeah, tight like they got deodorant up on that nigga head. You know what I'm saying? On the family head. We put some deodorant, you know what I'm saying? Put them up under the wing, you know what I'm saying? There was also implications, but no actual allegations that Tupac Shakur's killing stemmed from the fight between Ruthless Records, and Death Row for stealing the other label's acts. Per Muck Rock, Shakur's murder remains unsolved. The FBI closed its investigation in May 1999 without charging anyone in the alleged extortion scheme, finding that the agency could not corroborate the allegations against the JDL, according to Mass Live. Of course, because Tupac is dead and Eazy-E's dead. So they would have been the ones to corroborate the informant's story on whether or not they were actually done. So we're going to get more into Mike Klein. We're going to take y'all. Hit that like button, man. Let me see what my good people's talking about while we up in here. Hit the like button, man. The good people is in the chat. They getting active, too. Active like these chucks. Jay Prince has long ties out your way. I remember in Jared Milgram's case, I seen mob ties printed in there. No, facts. We not saying that. What we saying is nigga Snoop was already rapping like that before. And why did Jay Prince and them not sign them then? I never heard of that too, dudes. Mike B. So look, Mike, this dude, Mike Klein, a small hat. Miss Stacy, how are you and the family been doing? Pray all as well. Black Cash Dream, ask Reggie Jr., not Senior, why he called Michael Moore room to have him come to 662 if he told you he wasn't running the liquor license deal. Hey, Black Cash Dreams, I make sure you tap in because I'm going to ask him next time we call. I got to wait till somebody could record. So we can't call him unless we recording because we don't trust that piece of shit. But look, he said, ask him why he called Michael Moore. Why you call Michael Moore room to have him come to 662. So I'm going to take y'all. He was talking about Solar Music Group. While I get this content and I write this down, I want y'all to check out my interview with Solar Music Group, man. Duse M the Don. So when them niggas tell you Duse M's ain't nobody, Duse M's don't know the business, nigga trying to sign M, nigga M will sign you. Let's go.
What's up, everybody? This is the one and only Music Batiste. We'd like to welcome you to episode number 1, season 3 of the SMG Solar Music Group podcast in studio. Before I introduce our guests for episode 1, I just want to thank everybody for their support the past 2 seasons. I definitely want y'all to definitely keep in mind one thing. We couldn't have done this or started this without God, number one. So we want to thank him and give him his props.
Man, that's
and let everybody know where that's coming from. And I want to send a special shout out to First Fam Chill, the man behind the boards. Some episodes you see him, some episodes you don't. But no one
thing. Bloody Man Fire, that's Cap. We call him Cap.
As good as they sound, without his talent doing what he does behind the scenes, it wouldn't be possible. So I definitely want to salute him, send a shout out to him, let him know we're just getting started. We are small, but we are definitely growing. We appreciate every like. We appreciate the past guests. I want to send a special shout out to cats that we've had on season 1 and 2, like Battle Cat, J.O. Felony, Tracy Lee, Buddy White from the group Intro.
Bloody Man Fire.
The Whispers, I can't forget them. Definitely can't forget them. They joined us last season.
We're going to ask them, Black
Big
Cash
Shepherd, man. Big shout.
I was just
getting ready to say.
You know, I gotta say the OG for last. You know what I mean? The latest for the greatest. But we thank everybody for their support. So with that being said, we're getting ready to kick off episode 1 of season 3. We are joined by a gentleman who just in the brief time that Stan Shepard introduced me, made me aware of who he was. This is a brother that seems to be headed in the right direction in a very unique way. Now, we all know where we come from. We come from the hoods, whether it's East Coast, West Coast, down South. But we also know when we reach points in our lives when we need to make, and we start to realize we need to make change for the better. Because if we come together as a people, can you imagine if all the Black and brown people around the world from the hoods came together and unified our businesses, unified, you know, just our acumen, our levels of intellect, our communication, our support of each other. We see what's going on in the world. We just had the Chauvin verdict about 4 or 5 days ago. You know, we know what's going on in the world. Can y'all imagine if we unified? So that's what we about on this podcast, bringing enlightenment, bringing understanding, bringing, you know, just more knowledge and togetherness of all of us, no matter where we from as a people. So with that being said, our guest today is the CEO of an independent label. We're going to get into the name. He's going to break down the acronym of the name, the whole nine. Put your hands together and welcome to In Studio, one and only Duse M.
Nobody, too, is a crowd-pleasing, fist-pumping, all-out ball of a film.
We're going to get back to the JDL stuff shortly. Thank you.
What's happening?
What's happening, West?
All right now. What's up, brother? How you doing?
Oh, man, I'm blessed, man. Just working hard and enjoying every corner this journey God got me taking right now.
Absolutely, man. And that's a good thing because he definitely got us all on a journey, man. This has been one crazy week. As we're talking right now.
Oh, I didn't know they was cousins.
DMX, his funeral is being held at the Barclays Center in New York City at this particular moment. We lost Shock G, I think 2 to 3 days ago. A couple of days before that, we lost Black Rob. So
I didn't even hear about Black Rob. Wow.
Yeah, Black Rob died almost a week ago.
Yeah, whoa.
yeah, literally, man. So, you know, it's just a sad time in hip hop right now. We're losing a lot of great ones. But I will say this: when I hear about brothers like yourself, and I see the things that you're
free Valentino, man. Discretion TV.
Like Stan Shepard.
Veggie
that
got
are real
to
authentic people that's going to give you the straight truth. It ain't going to be no chaser with it.
Right.
That tells me that our culture is still going to be in good hands. So let's get to the brass tacks of it. Starting with the music business. How long?
This is the president of Solar Music Group, the one that Suge was talking about, and we finna get back to that right now. And he said that the future of the hip-hop business is going to be in good hands. And he's talking to Duse M. You don't need one of these gatekeepers like CS2 that's sucking Mike Klein or Alan Grunblatt or Brian Turner or Heller sucking them niggas off. You know what I'm saying? So what we gonna do, hit that like button, man. We finna cook. You know what I'm saying? So that's Solar Music Group that we talking about. Them interviewing Duse M. Y'all can go check that out on the Lamonte Sim page. But I want to get deeper into this JDL thing, right? Just the Jewish parts of original gangster. Can y'all pay attention to what's going on? As soon as our people get a little money on, here they come trying to prey up on us, and the government labels them terrorists, but because of their relationship with the Zionists, they permit them to target those of us who beat the odds and find success, right? They have been doing our people wrong, and we'll get rid of them. Yeah, they parasites. That's exactly what these people are. That's why we need to remove ourselves. Heller's father owned a scrap metal business. He loved gambling on sports and hung out with the Jewish mob. Eventually landing the family in wealthy Cleveland suburb, Shaker Heights. As one of the town's few Jews, Heller felt like an outsider. He wrote in Ruthless, for death certificate, Cube jettisoned the Bomb Squad. Shout out to the Bomb Squad. They used to do Public Enemy stuff that was big. East Coast producers teaming up with the Don Mega. And their pastiche approach in favor of more traditional slabs of chunky mid-tempo funk. A production vision led by DJ Pooh and also featuring contributions from Cube, Sir Jinx, rest in peace, Bobcat, and Rashad. The work was even more controversial than America's Most Wanted. Absolutely unsparing in its critiques of Q's perceived foes, both personal and institutional. Most notorious was No Vaseline, directed at his former group mates and one of the greatest diss tracks ever recorded. The song's Good Time Bounce only heightens his lyrics' venom, accusing the NWA members of being gay and moving to white neighborhoods. They were essentially slaves to the Jew, Jerry Heller. The track insinuates, offering the suggestion, using the nation's preferred synonym for white men, the group should get rid of the devil. Real simple. Put a bullet in his temple. It's probably hurt and affected me more than anything that's ever been said or done to me, Heller told an interviewer, adding that he faced anti-Semitism growing up. I think he's not anti-Semitic. I think he did it just because he thought it would sell records. I'm pro-black. I'm not anti-anything but anti-poor, Cube insisted when asked about the issue, adding that he worked with many Jewish people in the music industry. Heller recruited as security director an Israeli man named Mike Klein. You see how he went from this position to a different position, whose job was to put the fear of God into their adversaries. Klein had a background in Israeli security forces. Heller wrote, nobody seems to know the specifics of Klein's background. So let's back up real quick. See, this is how so fucked up our people is and how slow. They never been in that position where hundreds of millions of dollars are being made, tens of millions of dollars are being made to hundreds of millions of dollars and even billions. These people feel privileged to have and take what we have. To say you get a nigga like Suge, and he come with his mob. They coming with it. Israeli intelligence people with Uzis and all of this, and they're extorting our people who found success. But as soon as you get somebody like Suge who say, "Oh, that's going out," a matter of fact, he coming up out that deal, and back them down because he in positions of power himself. Then you niggas want to put Suge up on niggas like Veggie Wrong want to keep niggas like Suge in jail. You get a nigga like Big U who goes and says, man, Ain't no more motherfucking mountaineers just filming or nobody, period. Just filming in our communities, profiting off the community. They need to be active in the community, trying to change the narrative and bring in resources back to the community, right? They get these rats and they paint him as an animal because of his aggressiveness. His strengths becomes his weakness in that courtroom because he's prepared to do violence and stand for his people. Suge stood for getting Dr. Dre out of that fucked up contract that Eazy-E admitted later on. Heller had them niggas up under a fucked up. He didn't even want Cube to see the contract, right? Help get DOC up out of that. Help get Miss Chalet up out of that. Help Casey and JoJo get up out of their contract. Help Mary J. Blige get up out of their contract. And then when Interscope didn't even want to deal with the GOAT, 2Pac Amour Shakur, because he's in jail, even though his album surpassed the Rolling Stones for the #1 album in the world while he was incarcerated. They didn't want to do nothing and even gave over $1 million loan to Death Row and his rights to help bail Tupac out. They didn't want to deal with him. So it's a nasty game. Let me get back to this though. So Heller wrote, nobody seems to know the specifics of Klein's background. Wrote Vibe, before he moved to Los Angeles, says somebody who knows him, the Israeli-born Klein led a commando raid in the southern Lebanon when they caught those guys who blew up the kibbutz kids on the school bus. Southern Lebanon, I think it's primarily Hezbollah. So for further aid in their battle with Death Row, Klein and Heller enlisted the services of the Jewish Defense League, a New York. So they're admitting that Heller and Klein enlisted the services of the JDL, a New York-based organization that seeks to protect Jews against anti-Semitism, and which the FBI regards as right-wing extremist group for its violent tactics. The JDL provided Ruthless with bodyguards. Before long, there were Israeli soldiers wielding Uzi machine guns at the office, wrote S. Lee Savage, a filmmaker who visited the Ruthless headquarters in this period. In 1997, the FBI began a 2-year investigation into the JDL, which they suspected was extorting rappers, including Eazy and 2Pac Shakur. The alleged scam went like this. Someone would make death threats to the artist, and then someone else with whom they were in cahoots would offer to protect the artist for $50,000 or so, at which time they'd be taken to a safe spot until a deal could be worked out with the perpetrators of the threat. The FBI closed the case without filing charges, and the JDL spokesman, Irv Rubin, that's another one of their guys, stated in a press release that there was nothing but a close, tight relationship between the organization and Eazy-E. When Eazy tried to get the decision overturned, Mayor Omar Bradley responded with a lecture. Then, for good measure, he threw in some anti-Semitism. I won't name the specific racial group that's using you, brother, but they are destroying us and having a lunch and a bar mitzvah at the same time, Bradley shouted. And we know from history that the minute they get finished making money off you, you'll be sitting beside Mike Tyson in prison. Brothers don't understand and are naive to the politics, man. Curiosity was one of his defining traits. Eazy was fascinated by Judaism. For one, we're not talking about Judaism. A Jew is not Judaism. It's for the tribe of Judah. It's cultural, not just religious. You got some Hebrews or children of Israel from the tribe of Judah that'll go to church in some African states. Go to church because ethnically they are the children of God. But anyway, he stuck with Jerry Heller despite countless anti-Semitic insults. And at his nephew Terry Heller's grandfather's funeral, Easy wore Yarmulke. Tracy Jernigan was Jewish and said the faith was very prevalent in her relationship with Easy. He even signed a group called Blood of Abraham, a pair of early 20-something Jewish kids from the Valley. Though major labels expressed interest, Easy promised them freedom to express their political messages on songs like Niggas and Jews, Some Say Kikes. He said, you guys are on a militant trip. Said group member Benyad, you can talk whatever shit you fucking want. It's impossible to know if Woods and Wright has done with his estate what as Easy would have wanted her to. Wright wishes the company had been passed to Heller. As a Jew, as a white man, he would have handled business, he said. You see how they feel entitled to what we got going on? Puffy was accused of worse than just having protection on his mind. On the 1995 Southern California trip in the Anaheim hotel suite, he told a room full of Crips he'd give us anything for them dudes' heads, referring to Tupac and Suge. A Southside Crip named Keefe D told investigators. Keefe D further maintained that later at Greenblatt's Deli in West Hollywood, Puffy clarified his offer $1 million to murder Tupac and Suge. Owing to a history of anti-Semitic remarks, Louis Farrakhan gets little respect in the mainstream media. The Nation of Islam leader has long maintained unrivaled admiration throughout the hip-hop community, however. So they said they don't care what Eazy-E did, leaving the money to his wife and family. He should have left all that good money in the hands of a big-nosed Jew. He would have handled business. He would have handled business. Yo, Damu Kiwe Conversation. What's good, family? Hey, Renegade. Salute Duse M the Don. And salute to the chat. Yeah, this is nasty. The key. Your pride won't even let you consider it might be true. No, I know it's not true. Monique, yes, he said he went both ways and was creeping with dudes. You want to know why it wasn't crew? Because DOC corrupt and them niggas was writing his rhymes, nigga. Are you slow? Nigga, them niggas was writing Snoop rhymes, nigga. So what are you talking about? Did they bite? Was they staying in Texas? That's why I told you get up out of here. And then Snoop had it. He was good with a pen and a pad too. You know what I'm saying? So that's what we got on Mike Klein. So y'all see how it's set up. I'm gonna make a drawing. So I'm gonna make a drawing so that we make that a little bit more easier for y'all to understand. Let's get back to the Suge, talk about the Vanilla Ice and all this other stuff. But I just want y'all to understand you need a wolf. You niggas is afraid of the wolf when you find a wolf that don't eat.
And Rufus to have a meeting without me.
Y'all should celebrate it instead. Y'all want them people to lock us away.
And Rufus
what's going to happen when y'all got no more wolves that's going to protect y'all?
So if you give Suge $5 million and give us $1 million, Suge could give you Trey back, Chalet back, and a DOC back. I called and told Jerry, the motherfucker who you talking to don't run shit. He don't run me. And David Kenner's the bitch. I said, so therefore, whatever deal y'all cutting with them, you wasting your motherfucking time.
Yeah, Shepherd Lang, Stan Shepherd.
But that's not the only publishing deal they have Death Row. I did a publishing deal for.
I want to buy your house. I can pay you cash for your house no matter what condition it's in. If you
That's who set me up with the that's who set me up with the interview with Solar Music Group and First Fam Chill. Shout out First Fam Chill. So when y'all see Fam West TV 2 in the chat, he's boys with First Fam Chill. He's the West Coast version of my guy First Fam Chill. But yeah, shout out Stan Shepherd, man. Yeah, him and Tony Lane got from Treetop got together and they formulated Shepherd Lane, which was the label responsible for DJ Quick, Mossberg. He managed Battle Cat and others. You know what I'm saying? Rest in peace to Mossberg.
DLC. And got $1 million for that, right? Now, to set the record straight, Dick Griffey and I was real close. Dick was an older brother to me. Dick knew what the fuck he was doing. Dick knew Mike because it was a bitch named Veronica and she had a sister. Mike was messing with one of them. Dick was messing with the other sister. So when I told Dick, I said, hey, man, this dude, David Kenner, the lawyer dude, represent that dude named Mike. Dick said, Michael Harris? And that buster don't got no money. I said, well, I don't know about all that. I'm just telling you what the weird-ass lawyer dude said. Dick said, well, let me talk to him. I'm going to get straight to the point. See if they got money. You know, Dick was one of those motherfuckers for some change. He'd have a motherfucker doing some crazy things for that change if he gonna get it, you know? So, Dick, Virgil Robert, Lydia Harris, David Kenner came to Dick also for a meeting.
And you got David Kenner.
Dick said, okay, I know your husband. I don't know you, David, but you look like, he told David he looked like one of those dudes from one of those weird shows trying to act like he was Italian with a whole bunch of black pin on his hair. So Dick started laughing, right? So Dick said, y'all want to start getting the business. You don't need to talk to Suge, no disrespect. That's my little brother. I'm Dick Griffey. I own Solar Records. So he said, how much money y'all got? He said, bring me $5 million. We can do some business. So they looked at each other. They said, we don't got no $5 million. But Dick said, how much you got? A couple of million? We don't got a couple of million. So David said, well, we can get together maybe $350,000, $400,000. Dick said $300,000, $350,000. He said, hold up. He said, let me talk to my little bro for a minute. Sure, let me holler at you. We walk outside. He said, man, I thought my cousin, Eddie looking motherfucker had some money. He said, I told you that Michael Harris dude don't have no money.
Taking over the record label.
That's why he married the other girl. And the other girl left him. He don't got no money.
Hey, bro. Hey, Raider Q, smart man that you peeped that. It's always these security guards taking over these record labels. What's up with that? Security controls everything. So if I'm responsible for protecting you, I can line you up. I can backdoor you. I'm in control. When you're vulnerable, I can get you robbed. Kind of like what happened at Quad Studios, right? So that's how them dudes get up in there.
He went to jail, bro. Prison, bro. Right?
Hostile takeover.
That's what we're going to do. They ain't got enough money to be in the music business.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
They got their hands.
I said, Dick, you already sold us the studio. He said, well, I'm going to sell it again and get your money back. I started laughing. We go
right,
back in the meeting. Dick said, look, y'all basically getting cash money for some illegal motherfuckers, drug dealers, right? David said, yeah. He said, well, look, I usually don't do illegal things. At least I tell you at the police here. He said, but you come with 300, 350. I really wanted 4. If you got 350, I'll sell you the studio. Then y'all can make y'all money back and look good to the people you got the money from. Because David made it perfectly clear that Michael Harrison had the money himself personally. But he's going to get $50,000 from this person, $100,000 from this person. He's going to piece it together. So Dick's okay. You get the money. I'll sell you the studio, and they can flip their money, make some money, and everybody happy. They came back the next day. Me, Big Griffey, Virgil Roberts, David Kenner, and Lydia Harris. They gave the money to Virgil. Virgil counted the money. He said it's going to be in the studio business. No more, no less. And the crazy thing with all this, when they said I got a default judgment, even though I never got served, and said they had something to do with death row, Virgil was the expert, with the trustee, to let them know who's lying, who's not lying. And one thing Virgil said was, hey, they didn't put no money in the death row. You give Lydia Harris a Gucci bag with 50 racks, she gonna sign and get out the way. But these turned later on because technically it was illegal for Virgil Roberts to be their trustee expert when he did the illegal deal and knew for a fact he only gave Dick some money because Virgil wouldn't count the money, he took the money for the studio. So all these years, all this stuff has been lies. All these years,
check the run,
Mike Miller tried 3 or 4 companies. Never worked. Even Snoop was partners. Even though they didn't technically buy anything, but still, never worked. I know this. I did it once. I could do it again. And when I do decide to do it again,
Baby E, salute.
I'm going to do it with the younger generation.
Hit that like button on your way in if you're just coming in.
You'll hear the name when it's time to hear the name. But it's going to be a label, a situation, not to be saying you got to be on a label. It give you guidance to be your own boss. One thing you can say about me being the owner of Death Row, when I was on the streets and I was doing Death Row, Tony Braxton was signed to LaFace, L.A. Reid, and Babyface. We're not judging what type of men they are.
Sweetport, salute.
Behind closed doors, that had nothing to do with it. We're talking about their ability to have a label. They had Tony Braxton. Tony Braxton ended up bankrupt. They had TLC. TLC ended up bankrupt. Pink had to leave. A whole bunch of things we can say. And so did a whole bunch of other artists.
I don't know. I'm talking about Pop only having what was it? $2 million valuation of all of his assets when he died. That obviously he was already debating. He was already having Death Row open his book to calculate the royalties, right? Because it gets real complicated when you get to different contingencies in there. You go 2-time platinum, your royalty rate goes up to this. So there's different calculations, and he was going to go through the books. That's what he had pressed for before he got killed, right? But outside of that, there's 2 people who got fucked the worst in my lifetime that I heard about in the music industry, and both of them came from Babyface and what's her name? He had the record label with LaFace Records, right? They did TLC and they did Tony Braxton, and that was crazy, bro. There's no way that they were supposed to be broke when they were broke after selling 10 million records on one album. I think it was 12 million on one album. But that's a little bit of what Suge talking about. Suge is talking that shit right here. See, you don't get Birdman talking that shit. He's good with the system. You don't get none of these. Jay-Z ain't talking about that. He's good with the system. He benefited from the system and joined them. That's how you can determine what side of the spectrum these people in the industry stand on. Those that speak about changing the system and actually try to do something, and then those that who benefit from the system. Why would they want to change it? Come on, we got a couple more minutes of this.
But when I was on the streets in control of my own destiny, without nobody interfering with my company, Andre went bankrupt. He became a simple rich man. That's because of me. Snoop, he became one of the biggest artists around. And that was because of me. Not only did I make sure he didn't go to prison, he still ain't paying me back for the civil money he owed when he lost. Settled. That's neither here nor there. Gas living like a rich man. Corrupt living like a rich man. Danny Boy.
Dick Griffin is the godfather of Los Angeles.
Goes on Rage.
He was the man. For our people, Dick Griffin did all of the biggest deals, even that Death Row deal.
Andre pretty much had. These are real people.
Go subscribe to Stan
who's real successful.
Indoctrination podcast.
When we went somewhere, I remember one time we in New Orleans and dude hopped off the stage with sign to the face, kicked one of our dancers in the head. You don't think we had what we were supposed to do?
Pebbles and
ask somebody.
Babyface.
I mean, we in that New Orleans, in that same place. A dude 14 years old whooped Andre's ass. We ended up beating up everybody else. It was a riot. They had to come in with horses. A lot of people went to jail and had to bail people out. We moved as a family. At that time, I felt that everybody loved each other as a family. That's why the songs came out so good. You got people that say they was on Death Row.
Right, Lou.
Or they was a part of Death Row. And they wasn't. But the people who started with Death Row, I don't care if it's Andre, I don't care if it's Snoop, I don't care if it's Daz, I don't care if it's Corrupt, Rage, Joel passed away, Daniel, anybody who ever been on Death Row, me personally, still got love for him and still want him to be successful. Because that's what we supposed to do. No more, no less.
Right. Black ass right. Salute that fact.
So the whole rumor about you hanging him over a balcony, is there any truth to that or no?
You should know by now. I really like fucking with you.
No,
Number one, you black.
I know about the tribe.
And my blackness come first. Trump black too. Just don't know it yet. The culture vultures, they bring all these guys on their podcast. Next thing you know, all these guys in MDC or jail or prison somewhere and wonder how it happened. No disrespect to you. But at the same time, I'm trying to get out of prison, not get more time in prison. Fair enough. But I put it to you like this. Me and Vanilla Ice, we hung out. Yeah. Some might just hung out a little more than others.
Yeah, it was Pebbles.
During the Beauty Rest Labor Day sale in Ashley, save up to $900.
Salute to the Art of Dialogue, man. Art is doing his thing over there. Him and Suge got something good going, man. It's a beautiful thing. But one thing I learned, man, in this game, they don't never come at you straight up. That's not how the small hats work. They always send somebody to look like you to do their bidding. The devil's imps. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, well, it was Babyface, L.A. Reid, and Pebbles. Shout out to my boy. I ain't gonna put his name out there, but he was running shit down there for the face for a minute too. Went so many times platinum. Nah, it went diamond, Mike B. You know what I'm saying? That's why I left. I went to the row. The paper was right. Babyface wife wasn't it? Yeah, Pebbles, man, the CLC, yeah. Pebbles, Babyface, and L.A. Reid, they bent TLC and Tony Braxton over, and they shoved it in the ass with no Vaseline. You know what I'm saying? So, and stole TLC money. Yeah. Don't Clyde Davis own Babyface? Maybe as an artist, but he didn't own LaFace Records. Was under the same guy, Aristotle, same guy that run Puffy. No, you're talking about Andre Harrell was down at LaFace for a minute. In fact, when they started Arista Records, Bad Boy was originally distributed through Arista. You know what I'm saying? Y'all can check me if I'm wrong on that one, but do y'all think Andre Harrell? Yeah. Right. So, but y'all know it wouldn't be the Damu Kiwe Conversation without the ETE family. So we're going to go ahead and take y'all back to this scandalous thing. Every time we get somebody in position who's standing up for our people to make sure that we getting what we supposed to get, or at least more than what they're willing to give us, right? You always get a house nigga trying to help them out to keep kicking us down. So we stay at the bottom of the economic pyramid. In this case, we talking about Veggie Wrong. Let's go.
The exposers. Just when you think it couldn't get any colder, it does. Delray Richardson from Straight Game TV just dropped a bombshell, digging up some old paperwork that originally appeared on J-Mix's channel. But it hits a whole lot different reading it now. According to this police report, on September 16th, 1996, just 3 days after 2Pac's murder, Reggie Wright Jr. called the police to inform on Marion Knight. He reported that Marion was using Blood Gang members as armed security in the wake of 2Pac's death. This was apparently an attempt to get Simon violated and locked up, opening the door for Reggie to step in and take control of Death Row Records. 3 days after losing 2Pac, Reggie was already making his move. If that's not cold-blooded, I don't know what is.
Welcome back, guys. Welcome back. It's your boy Delray Richardson, platinum artist, platinum songwriter, Straight Game TV. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate your time. Do me a favor, click on the thumbs up button. Also, subscribe to the channel if you have not already. And like I always say, if you want to be one of the first people notified when I drop some of the Straight Game, please do me a favor and click on what appears to be that little bell notification. And please share the videos on your by sharing, click sharing. Yeah, from that perspective. I'm gonna get right into it. Ladies and gentlemen.
Now, for those of you guys who don't already know, Delray Richardson is a multi-platinum songwriter, producer, and recording artist, known for his work with some of hip-hop's most iconic figures. Operating under the moniker DJ Delvanara, he has collaborated with artists such as 2Pac, Dr. Dre, Eminem, 50 Cent, and The Game. His contributions span songwriting, production, and performance, cementing his reputation in the industry. Richardson is also the founder of Del Funk Boy Music, LLC, a Los Angeles-based independent record label and music publishing company established in 1996. The label has achieved gold and platinum certifications and has secured numerous placements in television and film. In addition to his music career, Richardson has been vocal about industry practices, notably discussing financial disputes involving Death Row Records and 2Pac Shakur. He revealed that Death Row owed 2Pac approximately $17 million from album sales, highlighting issues of artist compensation and contractual agreements within the music industry. Delray Richardson's conflict with Reggie stems from a series of public accusations and legal actions that have unfolded over the years. He has been vocal about his criticisms of Reggie, particularly concerning Wright's alleged involvement in events surrounding 2Pac's death and the operations of Death Row Records.
Hey, nah, Mike B, that's a fact. Sony was the distribution through Arista. I believe it was Sony because my boy who ran Arista, and I'll go into that too because I don't really be name dropping and doing all of that, but I'll just let y'all see the evidence. You know what I'm saying? At what levels, I be tight roping in this industry. Solar Music Group. We'll get to the other ones later, but yeah, I do believe it's Sony because he went
Richardson
to Sony
uses his
University,
platform to discuss these
Universal,
issues, which has led to heightened tensions
afterwards.
between the two. The tensions escalated into a legal battle when on November 8th, 2023, Reggie filed a lawsuit against Delray Richardson in the U.S. District Court for the Central District of California. The case, titled Reginald Wright versus Delray Richardson, centered on claims of assault, libel, and slander. Wright alleged that Richardson made defamatory statements about him, which were disseminated through various media channels. As part of their settlement, Delray agreed to stop calling him Reggie the Rat Wright Jr. Now, while I'm not exactly clear what Reggie agreed to in return, one thing's certain: he didn't stick to it. And once Reggie broke the agreement, Delray wasted no time. He brought the nickname right back. Reggie the Rat is back in full effect, because according to Delray, Reggie didn't keep his word.
Ladies and gentlemen, shout out to J Mix. I want to show you that Reggie the Rat Wright Jr. has always been trying to get rid of Suge Knight so that he could possibly take over Suge Knight's empire.
Reggie had a game plan, and he made it very, very clear that he wanted to take over Death Row Records. Make no mistake about that.
Do not pay your next car insurance bill. Repeat, do not pay your next bill yet.
Hit that like button. Let's go.
And so now, not only take over his empire at the time, but now even hijack his stories. Ladies and gentlemen, pay attention to this. So there was a story about Reggie the Rat Wright Jr. Trying to get Suge Knight's probation revoked, right? And this was in 1996. This was shortly after the death of 2Pac Shakur, but before Suge was even going through the situation where he actually got violated for the situation at the MGM Grand, and he received 9 years. But check this out. It was discussed by J Mix. J Mix had did a video, and he had the paperwork, and he talked about an Officer Knox. The sad part about it is Reggie the Rat Wright Jr. denied, talking to any kind of police, never talking to LAPD or anything like that. He blamed it on, well, me and Suge, we had went down there, and it was in relation to, the boys that had got the gun pulled out on them by Suge at the studio and so on and so forth. It was an outright lie. Here's the paperwork, and I want you to check this out. This is serious, ladies and gentlemen. Why do I call him Reggie the Rat Wright Jr.? I'm going to show you how deceptive, how snake-like, how conniving Reggie the Rat Wright Jr. has been. I need you to pay attention to this. Check it out. So, on 9/16, ladies and gentlemen, listen to me. When did Tupac die? When did Tupac die? Tupac died on 9/13. This is 3 days later, ladies and gentlemen. 3 days later after Tupac's death, right? Watch officers Jeter and Yamamoto were working a crime suppression detail to address gang activity problems at Death Row Records, 18730 Oxnard Street, Suite 211. Officer Jeter spoke with the head of security at Death Row, Reggie Wright, and was informed, listen ladies, and was informed by Mr. Wright that since the death of Tupac 3 days earlier, since the death of Tupac, Mary and Suge Knight was now using gangsters, Bloods from Compton, as his own personal bodyguards, and that they were armed. Officers Jeter was familiar with Knight's personal vehicle, which was there at the time at approximately 0500 hours. Jeters and Yamamoto observed 4 vehicles. This conversation basically led to an attempted felony stop of Suge Knight within hours. He watched the 4 vehicles leave Death Row Records in gang caravan fashion. The officer observed Suge Knight in the middle vehicle of the caravan. The officers attempted to stop Suge Knight's vehicle, but were interfered in making the stop by the rear vehicle, a green Humvee, driven by rapper MC Hammer. Subsequently, Hammer was questioned and released, warned only, right? Knight and the rest of his gang caravan eluded the police. Ladies and gentlemen, I first want to get you first have to understand the timeline. And what it says to me that most people were thinking that Suge Knight was really, dealing with Reggie the Rat Wright Jr. that way. You could clearly see at that particular time that Suge no longer trusted Reggie the Rat Wright Jr. with his security after what happened approximately a week earlier, if you will, on September 7th, 1996. Now, when you go back to this right here, you'll see clearly, dude, this is beyond comprehension, man. On 9/16/1996, this is 3 days after Tupac died, Reggie the Rat Wright Jr. is ratting on Suge Knight. He's informing the police that since the death of Tupac Shakur, Marion Suge Knight was now using gangsters, Bloods from Compton in his own personal body as his own personal bodyguards, and they were armed. Ladies and gentlemen, it doesn't get any worse than this. It doesn't get any worse than this. When you talk about somebody being a backstabber, like the OJ song said, right? They smile in your face, but all at the same time, they want to take your place. Backstabbers. If you look in the dictionary, you will see Reggie the Rat Wright Jr.'s face right there. What it says to me, and the reason why this was being done, was Tupac was out of the way now, right? Tupac gone, and like I told you, Reggie the Rat Wright Jr. Created the environment in which he's been caught in so many lies, right? Saying, but I never told him to not carry guns. We already know that's a lie because his security guard, who was Michael Moore's roommate, basically confessed on a tape that Reggie the Rat Wright Jr. did in an interview with Tim Williams, his name is, right? Go check it out. It's over there on Bums First. But more importantly, you got to understand the time and what's going on at this particular time. See, Reggie the Rat Wright Jr. has always been trying to pass the buck over to Frank Alexander, and everybody else was incompetent, right? But here, Reggie the Rat Wright Jr., 3 days after Tupac's death, is informing the police that Suge Knight is now using gangsters, Bloods from Compton, has his own personal bodyguards, and that they were armed. He was snitching as Suge Knight was right there outside in the parking lot, and they observed the vehicles leaving, and they tried to pull him over based on the information that Reggie the Rat Wright Jr. provided against the guy who ultimately set him up to have a job, to have a company, and do all of these things. Ladies and gentlemen, if you do not understand.
Same old phone? Nah. Upgrade to the new Galaxy Z Fold 7.
Conversation. My nigga Scanlon's gonna
who Reggie the Rat Wright Jr. is.
Scanlon's gonna
from this right here. And like I said, you got to take into consideration the time. Dude, Tupac ain't been dead a month. He ain't been dead 1 month. And Reggie the Rat Wright Jr. has already flipped on Suge, because what he realized was that now, after being fired by Tupac on the 27th, less than 30 days ago, prior to Tupac's being shot and succumbing to the gunshot wounds, right? Right? Not even 30 days later, not even 3 days after or a month after Tupac's death, Reggie the Rat Wright Jr. is informing to Officer Jeter and Officer Yamamoto about Suge Knight having his personal security being conducted by gangsters, blood members. See, and you know, because see, 1 minute Reggie the Rat Wright Jr. will tell you that you know, I grew up with all these guys and trying to get you to think that he was some kind of some way sort of ingratiated with these guys. See, this is a common method. This is the thing that he does, right? But then on the flip side, right, he will go and do this. He will go and do this. 3 days after Tupac died, AM watch officers, Jeter and Yamamoto, were working a crime suppression detail to address gang activity. And what I like about this is it's dated and it's timed, right? So there can be no ambiguity as to whether this is true. They documented it, right? Right? A gang a suppression detail to address gang activity problems.
Like button. We gonna
cook at Death Row Records, 18730 Oxnard Street, Suite 211. I believe that was the studio that they were at, right? Officers Jeter spoke with the head of security. Reggie the Rat Wright Jr. said, man, I never had no conversation. So he even lied about this because he said he never had a conversation with him, right? Reggie the Rat was informed. Listen, Reggie Wright, they talked to Reggie Wright and they were informed by Mr. Wright that since the death of Tupac, Murray and Suge Knight was now using gangsters' blood members from Compton as his personal detail. Remember at the Soul Train Music Awards? Reggie did the same thing. Reggie snitched on the other guys. Now, we don't really know what was going to go on. We seen the night that Suge Knight was there. Suge Knight also had on one of those burgundy sweatshirts that said something about, I think, P-Funk or whatever on, and you see Tupac had the fatigue jacket on that night at the Soul Train Music Awards, right? But listen, Reggie the Rat Wright Jr. did the same exact thing in January, February, March of 2016. Right? He said he informed the police. Once again, that's what Suge Knight called him a Judas. So do you think, based on that incident and this incident in which Reggie the Rat Wright Jr. can't deny, based on the date, time, I mean, I'm just appalled that it's 3 days after Tupac died. You know? And now all of a sudden, the guy who was the head of the failed security, and I can understand Suge probably using his homeboys now. He couldn't trust Reggie. Reggie was a weak link. Look what happened in Vegas. So Suge said, you know what? I'm gonna take it, you know, with the homies, because like I said, Reggie the Rat Wright Jr. had failed. This is this is clear evidence that Suge had lost confidence in Reggie the Rat Wright Jr., period. So for all of the people saying, well, why did, Suge let Reggie run his company? This is proof right here. Reggie didn't run the company.
Yeah,
he didn't run nothing.
It was bullshit, big
like money. I told you, it was Miss Chalet. I showed you guys the affidavit. And where Suge said, when they asked him in court, who ran your company while you were incarcerated? And he said, Miss Chalet. Reggie was just the liaison. He was not a label boss. He always wanted Suge Knight out of the way. As you can clearly see with this right here. You can clearly see it. So ladies and gentlemen, I want you to understand who you've been listening to, right? The lies that they've been telling. Gullible John also knows all of this, tried to jump on the bandwagon and trying to exploit Tupac, his music, his name, and John did not even know Tupac. So you got to understand, take this really, you got to digest this, man. This is 9/16/1996, man. 3 days after Tupac died. And the police are coming, and like I said, Reggie the Rat Wright Jr. is basically telling on Suge, and it led to the conversation or the informed information conversation led to an attempted felony traffic stop of Suge Knight within hours. Within hours. Amazing. Amazing. Ladies and gentlemen, like I said, you see what it is now that's going on? This is the reason why Suge Knight called Reggie the Rat Wright Jr. a Judas. Your boy Del Rey, straight game.
Hey, man.
I serve my country, and now I carry
Ray,
legally everywhere I go.
Man, he be on Veggie Raw helmet. You know what I'm saying? There's more than one way to skin a cat, man. Shout out Most Scandalous Los Angeles TV, man, on that live reaction. You know what I'm saying? Salute, salute, salute. So look, I don't like to toot my horn and name drop. I'm not like one of them dudes. But based on this part of the content, we're going to go ahead and get into this stuff about Arista and LaFace. So I got a plug who was at Arista, right? Let's go here. Boom. Oh, hold on. There we go. I think this is it. So let me show y'all this. This is on Variety Magazine, right? Variety Magazine. So listen, when they be telling you Duse M's wanted to be a music exec, Duse M this and that, wanted to be a rapper, I'm still a rapper. I crossed over on two different genres of hip-hop music, gangster rap, and then storytelling with the light up, and then the different beat-mix, girl-friendly, club-friendly songs. I'm a versatile artist, but not that I'm the biggest artist in that, but I do my numbers. You know what I'm saying? Even more than that, I'm a businessman. I'm a music exec. I own 3 companies. Duse M's the Don, right? So here it goes right here. Reed rolls out Arista VP Dream Team following the BMG distribution convention held in, and my boy is still got the plugs with BMG. But anyway, held in Toronto last week, Arista Records' newly installed Prexy CEO Antonio L.A. Reed has unveiled what he calls his dream team of senior execs. The top tier of all of whom will report directly to Reed consists of Executive VP GM Larry Mestel, Executive VP Jerry Blair, and Executive VP of Black Music Lionel Ridnour. Mestel was most recently Chief Operating Officer, COO of Chris Blackwell's Palm Entertainment, having previously held the same position with the Island Entertainment Group, which consisted of the Island Records and Island Picture firms. The very first time I met Larry, Reed told Daily Variety, I was immediately impressed by his business savvy, experience, and background. Mestel will oversee business affairs, international finance, production, special markets, administration, certain elements of sales, and Arista's West Coast operations. That person, Mestel, had wore a lot of hats there. He did a lot for that company. But anyway, Blair comes to Arista from his most recent post as Senior VP of Promotion and Executive VP of Columbia Record Group. Jerry's accomplishments speak for themselves. Reed said, he's the best in the field. He gets things done. I love his energy. Blair's project. In addition to overseeing most of the Arista's promotion efforts, Blair also will be involved in some of the company's marketing. Ridnour, a 7-year veteran of Arista, retains his Executive VP of Black Music title. I've worked with Lionel for years when I headed LaFace, so I know he's the best urban promotion persons in the business. Reed said he'll remain actively involved in our urban marketing efforts as well. The second tier of exec consists of Senior VP Steve Bartels, Matt Floyd, Finance Administration, Steve Godley, Biz and Legal Affairs, Dorsey James, Arista Ventures. So let me tell y'all a little bit about my boy Dorsey James, right? So he worked at not only just Arista, but damn, I don't know what happened with that. We could get back to that later. Damn, that's crazy. They want to close that. So let me close this and then bring it up so that y'all can see, right? So where we at? We on stream. Y'all hit that like button, man. Let me bring this up for y'all. Straight game, you know what I'm saying? So let me make sure y'all can see this. Y'all can't see it. Boom, I'm gonna bring this up. So this is one of the emails. If you pay attention, that's my boy Dorsey James. His new label and artist he working with is through Score Entertainment, Dorsey James. And this was for Admit for Enoch. Enoch is a Nigerian, what you call it, artist. I'm going to play one of his songs after we show you this. That way y'all can understand that I don't play no games when I tell you I offer these type of services. Admin, collecting the royalties. So look, he signed them to my publishing company for me to collect admin of the songs that he owned, et cetera, right? So this was with Dorsey James, and I sent Dorsey this because he was doing admin. I think we did this one through Cobalt. Was it BMG? One of them, Cobalt or BMG, collected the royalties on behalf of Enoch, right? Enoch is from Africa, and one thing that I didn't like, he got millions and millions of views, right? But the CPMs in Africa for promotion and advertising in Africa don't pay as much as the CPMs in most parts of where we're from, LA, California, whatever. But let me show y'all Enoch, man. We're gonna go like this. What was the name of the song? Any one of his songs. Mowalinkin. How do you say that? Damn, that one's hard. Enoch Mbawe. Let me do that. I didn't spell his name right. See, it's a different spelling. Enoch. Malbewe songs. Okay, so we finna get to it. Oh, yeah, this is it. Let's go to this one. Man, hit that like button. Kill it, man. I hope y'all don't knock me because it's a different kind of music. Doesn't matter. Music is music, and getting to the money is the same. You know what I'm saying? He didn't know how to collect his money, so I helped him. You know what I'm saying? Through my boy Dorsey James. So, go my boy Enoch. Pay attention though. Is this the song? I hope this is the one I want. About 15 of them. He had about 15 songs that were over 1 million views. Well, he sent me 10 of them. If you see the what you call it, and I sent them to Dorsey, we got him his money. You know what I'm saying? Then we also, let me see this. Salute. They said that's ODM Slim singing. Man, y'all scandalous, man. That ain't ODM Slim. You know what I'm saying? But we could go to this one. So this one was another admin deal. Shout out to my boy, lover boy TJ. You know what I'm saying? And we'll go to that. But let me show y'all this real quick. So this was another admin deal. These were all placements that he had, right? So that's Tim Allen, that's Loverboy TJ, he's OHB. So Juicy J, Cardi B, Carmen Sutra mixtape, he wrote for that. Ray J featured Loverboy TJ, Fucking With My Feelings mixtape. Crisscross, Loverboy TJ and Chris Brown and Young Black. We gonna play that song. Cherry Red Vans, Chris Brown, Ray J, Loverboy TJ. Little Twist featuring Wayne, Think About You, he wrote on that. Run When I Say, OHB and Loverboy TJ, Marathon Man, Chris Brown, Loverboy TJ, Hoodie Baby, Who You Came With, TJ, Ray J, and Chris Brown. So we'll play the crisscross and get that out. But unreleased songs, the Christian Combs featuring Jeremiah, Loverboy TJ featuring Christian Combs, Juicy featuring Days Low and Loverboy TJ, Leaning Chris Brown, Juicy J, Loverboy TJ, New Gang, Chris Brown, Ray J, and The Truth Always Be featuring the Section Boys, 100 Billion, Drugs, A Little Twist, TJ, Solo Lucci featuring Loverboy TJ, TJ, Solo Lucci, and Cassidy. You know what I'm saying? Just Want to Win, Loverboy TJ and Ray Dub, and then Promise, Ray Dub. So this is his catalog of music, and I had to help him collect and get his catalog in the order. And it's a lot of work that goes into it, but it also takes the proper we gonna get into that Loverboy TJ exclusive. He gonna be mad at me. I don't give a fuck. Well, no, we ain't gonna do that. I ain't gonna do him like that. Collection of royalties. Oh, here's the email with me and Dorsey, just so y'all can see. You know what I'm saying? Cool. I sent it to Cobalt. Yeah, so that was Cobalt. I sent it to Cobalt. Stay tuned. Boom. Dorsey James, D-Mac James. And this was all of my music. These are all songs that I've released myself. And these is some of my artists, AOB Fingers, he released. So that's what we do. Thug Torious G's. Boom. So that's my publishing company, Thug Torious G. So let me give y'all this song real quick, but I wanted y'all to be able to chill with me real quick. Let's go. We said we were going to do the crisscross. Loverboy, TJ. Let me see. I think it popped right up. Bam. Well, we could play that one. Yeah, we could do this one. Let's do crisscross. Hey, I was gonna give y'all the exclusive, but y'all ain't hit enough like. Unreleased Chris Brown Loverboy Tuesday, but since y'all don't got no love for the Damu Kiwe Conversations, will always be that's Chris Brown's crew, right? Original homeboys. He started when he was kids. Him and Loverboy TJ were friends since they were like 7. I think TJ dad is the one that introduced him to get and help him get his deal. Well, let's go to this one real quick. Y'all tell me if I like this one. But these are 2 of the songs that I helped him collect his royalties on. Stay tuned. This Chris Brown, Loverboy DJ and Ray J.
Ball out, finna ball out.
Hit that like button if y'all are.
Been up since the 8th grade. I got an actress and a playmate. She wanna ride with me, babe. In a 6-passenger full of models. Got your best friends on the kid, cause they know I'm a leader, never follow. Yeah. Might put some buttons up. I'm the realest nigga, no actor. Hit it from the back, I'm a factor. Hey, your partners, they want me. They told me, let's take it slowly. Start at the moment. Don't care who you is. You're laying in my bed.
Hit that like button.
So fuck who you came with. Fuck who you came with. You better call out. I'm finna ball out. Roof, I'ma bring up my dogs out. Love, boy, TJ live at the rock. Yo, bitch, court side already. I fuck you. Fuck who you came with. You, I share my name with. Overseas pussy came out of it talking Spanish. Ball out. This is no NBA shit. Constipated face on these haters cause they ain't shit. We live by the way. Don't give a fuck what they say. Always be came with the mind. We gon' party till tomorrow. Get connected, got that Wi-Fi. Let me beat it like pinata. Tada. We celebrating with don't carry on. One conversation, then we carry on. Hey, private jets with no carry-ons. Go up, roll up the Amazon. All out, been the ball out. Been on my shit, all out. Been up since the 8th grade. I got an actress and a playmate. She wanna ride in a 6-pack.
Shout out to the bro. You already know what it is. That's the homie lover boy TJ. When y'all see the meet me in the set video shoot or when I was doing my street TV interview, that's the guy that was with me. He's the one in the video. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to lover boy TJ. Shout out to the whole OHB. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Breezy. Y'all keep doing y'all thing. They on tour. I think they was just in Philly. And I'm waiting for them to come to Chicago. I'm definitely gonna be up in there with my my bracelet, man, because I'm a fan of Chris Brown's music, man. You know what I'm saying? Young brother. I think he's our generation's I really think he's our generation's Michael Jackson. You know what I'm saying? So with that, you got to respect that. So none of y'all knew neither one of those songs. Both of them was on the radio. But in any event, and you know Chris Brown get a gang of pub. But in any event, I think I already closed that. Yeah, I did close that. So we're going to bring this one to an end. It's almost 2 hours already. 2 hours. Nubian Queen Raiders, salute. Salute to everybody that's hung around. No, CS2Pac didn't have nothing to do with that record. Ray J turned OHB, and that's in one of the RICO civil suit, right? Which turned federal. I'm going to see him next month, but no, I didn't pay for that. Well, you did pay for it. Stop lying. But anyway, you know you was crushing on old Breezy. You know what I'm saying? Hey, but salute again to everybody. Shout out to Dorsey James, man. Shout out to Score Entertainment. He worked for Sony as an executive for a while, Universal. He was kind of running shit over there for a minute. Powerful people in the industry. Whack 100 was never my only option of dealing with people in the industry. You know what I'm saying? I got other options that I knew before ever meeting this nigga on Clubhouse. He doesn't know who I know. He don't know what's in my phone book. You understand what I'm saying? So I don't feel and never felt compelled to need no nigga to do my shit. All I need is my team, bro. With my team, we can go as far as we push it. And I want to push it to the limits. Salute to the team. I'm going to loot for the loot. You good. And he owns his masters. They trying them, dudes. No, that's facts. G-Mac was out in my boat night fishing, but I'll be on time on the next content. Hey, that's good, G-Mac. You already know what it is. 2 and 1, man. 2 P's, 1 B, man. Let's go. Pacoima Paru Bloods, a real Pacoima Paru, not the nigga that's scared to pull up in his hood. Let's go. Damu Kiwe